Say, look, it's tough enough to just figure out where the Caucasus are or what the Caucasus are. Pat's personal portrait today is Chechnya and also Linda Wetzel from
the Thunderbird School of Global Management.
the internationally known Thunderbird
Yes.
School of Global Management. And you have managed globally not only for 20 years at that highly respected institution, but also a long time in the CIA.
Almost as long.
In the service of the United States. So your specialty, your unique geographic focus has been Russia and its environs.
That's
Excuse me, where the hell is Chechnya?
It's in the neighborhood. Chechnya is the closest I could get it with an example is it is a state in the country of Russia the way Arizona is a state in the United States.
But it is Russia.
Oh yes, it is part of the Russian Federation. And that's one thing that very many Chechens, the ones who consider themselves the most patriotic, would like to change. They would like to separate.
How long has that been going on?
Well, it's been going on for quite a while. The first real conquest of the Chechens and other Caucasus peoples was right at the cusp of the 18th and 19th centuries. That's when the Russian Empire was starting to grow, and the then Tsar Nicholas I said, we're going to grow south as well. So pushed into the Caucasus area, into that very mountainous area, and took some of these indigenous peoples as members of the empire, and then eventually citizens of the Soviet Union.
Was it an independent country? Did it have an independent government at that time?
That part of the world, there were so many things that were sort of lines that were drawn and definitions given by colonial masters. It's sort of like what we talk about with the Middle East, and well, the French drew this line and the Britons drew this line and so forth. So a lot of those were not even necessarily what we would regard today as a nation state. They could have been tribal areas of something else, but the ethnic, the sense of nationhood that the Chechens had was there and is there very strongly, even if you can't or you couldn't point to a bit of territory on a map. They know they're from there, they know that that is their land, and they're very serious about keeping dominion over it.
Yeah, but that had absolutely nothing to do with these two guys in Boston blowing up people and property. In fact, when I found out that the family originated in Chechnya, the violence didn't surprise me because so much violence has been going back and forth across that border, if you will. But I said at that time here in the studios, well, they don't have any beef with us. It's one of the few areas of the world they don't have a beef with the United States. Their beef is with Russia. So what was going on?
Well, there I think you are, and as has been mentioned many times and needs to be repeated, we don't really know, and we may never know the full story, particularly of how the older brother came to whatever place he reached. But what I sense is that there was, on his part, some sort of melding of newly awakened Islamic fervor with that sort of national identification. If most Chechens, if they feel they must oppose an oppressor, they go for Russia. That has been their oppressor as they see it for centuries. So it's a natural thing to question why the United States. I think a good part of it we may end up finding is that they were here. And if someone is intent on carrying out a terrorist action and they want to, re-immigrate into Russia to do that, they're probably going to have a very difficult time.
Has the unrest in that part of the world always been a mixture of nationalism and religion?
My sense from reading history in the Caucasus area, especially the North Caucasus area, we're talking again about southwestern states in the country of Russia, north of independent states like Armenia or Georgia, right, is that much of it was an ethnic identification, and it has been with the sort of upsurge in what we've seen over the last couple of decades of Islamic self-identification that seems to be, as I say, in some cases melding, in some cases sort of adding or shifting an individual's emphasis somewhat. What I have heard, whether these turn out to be credible sources or not, was that the older brother, Tamerlan, did have some kind of grievance against the United States. Someone got the sense that he felt that the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan were in fact a United States effort to combat Islam. And for whatever set of reasons, he responded, allegedly.
And the stories
that.
will continue.
Yes.
And the stories will continue with your help as we have a kind of an open door policy for you coming in, as we do for so many members of that extraordinary institution, the Thunderbird School of Global Management. Part of the faculty is our guest, Linda Wetzel, and this is Pat's Personal Portrait on KTAR.com.